dealing with, because most likely I'm going to get that vehicle serviced at their location. And if they're not taking care of that through the insurance company, then doesn't that give that insurance company a little bit of credibility?
Yeah, two very, very good points. Very, very good points. That's where you as the consumer have become, and many consumers have become very savvy. The dealership, as we know, and some dealers, not all dealerships are shady, and they're not all trying to make a ton of money. I mean, they do reward loyalty, but time and time again I hear of the markup being just outrageous. And so what happens is you call a company like mine and we give you a quote, and again it's substantially lower for the exact same kind of coverage, maybe even better. And you would rather go through your dealership because you feel that they're going to be the one that's going to stand behind it. Hey, I just spent all this money with you. I'm going to bring it back to have it serviced with you, so stand behind the product that you sold me. So there's some strength there, you would think. Not always the case. And so what you do is you go back with the numbers that I gave you and say, well, why can this company give me this plan? And folks, the tactic that they use is, oh, you don't want to go with a company like that. They shouldn't be doing this. They're no good. They're not going to stand behind their claims. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. That's just their way of saying, you need to buy it from us. So in your scenario, the guy went from marketing up and making a $2,000 profit on you, probably making $500 profit on you. In terms of the service work, there absolutely is a benefit to a dealership to house and bring all the service work back to their facility, because they're charging $130 labor hours. Well, the mechanic's probably making $35 an hour, $40 an hour. So they like it when you bring it back, but in certain cases, because there are different types of plans, if the dealership controls their costs, so even though they might charge $130 labor hours or dollars an hour for labor to the warranty, they might not bill them that, so it gives them a little bit of credibility, to sell products and a little bit of favor. Again, have a dealership that's going to stand behind you and work with them. And if you're going to buy from your dealership, there's always negotiation room. Always. I don't care who it is. There's always negotiation room. That's why we're not priced that way. We're not sticking $3,000 and, hey, let's make a deal and work it on our way down. Okay, you've agreed here? Okay, I'm still going to make some profit. We don't do that. It's just not a way to do it. Yes, sir.
When do you think you will be selling your own insurance?
I'm hoping that we finalize it by December, but right now we already have that relationship. We're just signing and coming up with finalizing the idea. The policy is exactly the way that it's going to be. It just doesn't have our specific name on it. But again, because we sell so many of those policies, the beauty for us as a company is if you have a problem, and what I find really, and this is something I didn't allude to earlier, is it's repair facilities that often submit things incorrectly, okay? And people don't know that. Rubber hoses aren't covered. I had a gentleman that had a fuel line that went out. Well, that's a metal braided line that's stuck in the gas tank. You can't do maintenance on that. You're not going to pull out the fuel line to do maintenance on it. And the fuel line was wrapped by nylon or whatever the material is, so it doesn't break down and cause particles to flow through the system. And the repair facility sent it as the cause of failure was a rubber hose fuel line. Well, that's not what it was. My customer called me. First thing that I did is got on the phone, called the repair facility, and asked them what they submitted to me or submitted to the warranty company. And in the first sentence, I see that it's a hose. Call them back, and I said, send me a picture of the item that you're trying to get covered. Is that a hose? Well, no, it's shaped like a hose, but it's not a rubber hose. I said, what is it made of? And whatever he said. So why didn't you submit it that way? He's like, well, I didn't know it would make a difference. So they don't know. So I called the warranty company and said, listen, they made a mistake. I've got a picture to support it. I will send it to you. 15 minutes later, the claim was paid for. So we have that same involvement. I call our contacts, our claims manager calls our contacts and says, this is the situation. We want to get it pushed through. So it's just another layer of support that I challenge anybody to find with another service provider in the industry. It's just something that we've done. Yes, sir.
You may have mentioned this already. I came in late, but you mentioned two names: WholesaleWarranties.com and CoachNet Insurance. Can you clarify that for me?
CoachNet is just another company that we sell. So in the broker process, CoachNet is the roadside assistance provider. CoachNet has also gotten into offering their own extended warranties or extended service plans as well. So they have their own plan, but we sell them as a aftermarket roadside assistance benefit to our customers.
When
Okay.
you're talking about wholesale warranties,
Wholesale Warranties is my company. That's the company that we're agents for a couple of these larger
you're
companies.
going on your own, who you backed by?
Very good question. Dealers Alliance Corporation, or Dealers Assurance rather, which is one of the second largest insurance companies, A-rated with AM Best, A-rated with Better Business Bureau. Again, in the education side of this, do not ever buy an extended warranty from a company that is not backed by an A-rated insurance company. If the company you bought the warranty from closes their doors, there's nobody there to pay your claims. If they're backed by an A-rated insurance company, that warranty company closes their door, the insurance company pays your claims for the life of your policy. So don't ever buy, and do your research on the insurance company as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah, some of us do our own service,
Sure.
changing oil, that sort of thing. What sort of records do we need to?
I have the few different plans that I have one specifically for that because there are folks that will do their own oil changes. So you keep a regular log like you would. I bought 12 quarts of oil. I bought my oil filter, changed it on this date, and you keep those receipts, and they're going to work exactly the same way. So in that company, again, I've run into anytime there's an escalated claims situation that is out of control and needs help. Unfortunately, it comes to me because it's no fun. It's the worst job in the world because by the time it gets to me, people are livid. And then it's my job to have to do all the research and navigate through and find out where the problem is and get it taken care of. I've not run into a single situation where somebody properly kept their receipts and their own little maintenance record and had claims pushed through. So it's a simple process. Yes, sir.
Do you recommend like a portfolio of your receipts in the coach?
I recommend
Because I'm traveling right now, but most of my records are all at home.
Sure, I do. I do for the simple reason of, again, with our own claims department, or the ability for us to be able to stand behind you, the more information that you have to suggest that this is the maintenance that I've done on my coach, and if I would keep a folder of it always in your coach.
So if I was, let's say, all my records are at home,
Right, make another copy.
something happened, would you call my repair guy, who obviously has records?
We could do that, absolutely, yeah. I would do that on your behalf. Our company would do that on your behalf. Because the idea is to build a case, to be able to show the insurance company, look, this was fine, or was it replaced or repaired. Exactly.
I have records for everything.
You bet, yeah.
But they're at home.
Sure, and things always go wrong when you're not at home.
Oh yeah, you're not going to break down at home. You're going to break down in Oregon.
Of course, yeah. Yes, sir.
Are all your policies cash upfront for the entire purchase of the policy?
No, sir. They give you a discount to put it on a credit card, write a check for it, because we work with a company that essentially, we're not in the financial service industry, but we work with a company that basically will pay for your policy, you put a down payment and spread out monthly payments. So we give you those options, but they obviously charge a service fee. So we do work with them, but they do give you a discount to pay for it up front. Yes, sir.
How many insurance companies do you represent?
Right now, 2. We really narrowed down to 2.
2?
Yeah. Really because what we ran into, and again, this is just honesty, we didn't do anything wrong with the way we were doing business. The thing that we did wrong was we sold policies too cheap over the dealerships. You walk in again to the dealership, they want to sell you Extra Ride. Well, we sell Extra Ride. They charge you $6,500. We're telling you it's only a $4,000 policy. Extra Ride calls, or the dealership calls Extra Ride saying, how can you allow this Wholesale Warranties company to sell the same plan? You're taking profit and revenue out of my company. So if you don't tell them to stop selling it, I'm going to switch to somebody else. So essentially these companies said, we can't allow you to sell unless you're selling the coach at the time of purchase. So the companies that we're working with now, they're our own company. Like we're moving towards private label. It's a different type of plan that we're able and capable of selling. So that's what happened is we were selling them too cheap. The dealerships were losing money and they all raised their hands and said, what's going on? Yes, sir.
I believe that one of the things that drives the sale of new motorhomes or even new used motorhome purchases is when the warranties start running out. And so you mentioned something about insuring back to 2000. What happens when a coach, there are many coaches on the road that have been even beautifully repainted and well maintained, and maybe the drivetrain will go 1,000,000 miles, even the refrigerator doesn't. We know that from experience, by the way. What do you recommend in that regard?
You can keep renewing the policy. If you're, at this point, so let's say now January, we'll only go back to a 2001. If you've got a 2001 or a 2002, what I would recommend is only buying a 1-year policy. And right before it expires, where we can't do it anymore, then put the longest term possible on it. Then put a 3 or 4 year plan on it.
So the coach could theoretically become older.
Absolutely. Absolutely, if you do it right. And my team, my staff is all trained to identify that. They all ask the right questions. And again, what I value in our company is it's not a pushy sales tactic. It's an education process. They're going to ask you how much you travel, what your habits are, how many miles you travel, if this is your first coach, just all the specific information that's important to designing a plan that's right for you, the equipment inside your coach. Some folks shouldn't have an exclusionary policy because they don't have the equipment. So why pay more money for things that you don't have? We're not a company that's going to try to soak you to get the most money out of you. We want to get you into a plan that's tailored right for you. Okay? Any other questions?
What's your name?
David Scott.
And you have a booth?
We absolutely have a booth. Yeah. We're right in the middle, and we just have a little wheel to spin. And we can give you a quote. We brought our computers. We're tied into a software that you give us, and that's why I gave you these sheets as well. So we have a raffle. But if you don't want to put your phone number on there, again, we don't sell lists. We won't call you and bug you 16 million times. But if you at least give us your email, we'll provide you with a quote on your coach. If it looks like something, and the email that I'm going to send you will give you a video that I created that will walk you through the policy and what to look for, which I hope is helpful. I've gotten good feedback on it. But if it looks like something that's right for you, come back and see me and we can talk further about it.